SOC 135 Population Studies class. This is a continuation of the fertility concepts and rates. These are the other fertility rates, mostly expressed also in formulas. So in the previous module, we covered crude birth rate, general fertility rate, age-specific fertility rate, children ever born, completed fertility rate, and total fertility rate. Now, in this module, to continue, we are going to have gross reproduction rate, net reproduction rate, child-woman ratio, replacement level fertility, population momentum. So these are two concepts, not necessarily with formulas. Another formula, birth rate for unmarried women and percentage of births outside marriage. So the gross reproduction rate is the average number of daughters that would be born to a woman during her lifetime, like TFR, but counts only daughters. So in my case, I have 3 children, one son and 2 daughters. So it will count only 2, the GRR. The net reproduction rate is the average number of daughters that would be born to a woman if she passed from birth to the rest of her life. Like GRR, but lower, as it takes into account the fact that some women will die before completing their childbearing years. Like the childbearing years would be from 15 years to 49 years old. And if a woman dies at 35, so it will be NRR. Example, in these two countries, in this specific years, Angola from 2005 to 2010, the GRR is at 0.291, NRR is at 0.2.14. In Netherlands in 2009 specifically, the GRR is at 0.87, the NRR is at 0.86. So you see the numbers. So interpret it like, okay, this is Angola mothers in the mothers in Angola and the mother in Netherlands. So to interpret, if 2005 2010 fertility levels were to continue, a woman in Angola would have 2 daughters on average during her lifetime. In Netherlands, on the other hand, a woman would have fewer than 1 daughter on average because of this almost one. So it could be one or none at all. The NRR in Angola is that nearly 1 daughter would die on average before completing her childbearing years. And in the Netherlands, virtually all daughters would survive. Look at this, 0.87, then 0.86, and this one, that's why it's nearly 1 daughter because of this. Okay, the child-woman ratio, the number of children under age 5 per 1,000 women of childbearing age in a given year. So this is the formula, number of children under age 5 over number of women ages 15 to 49 multiplied by 1,000. This measure can be calculated from national censuses or survey data, providing some information on fertility where registered birth statistics are not available because it's just number of children under age of 5. So for example, okay, we plot these numbers here, values. This is in, okay, for example, in France in 2010, there are 267 children under age 5 per 1,000 women of childbearing years. Okay, in South Korea, in 2010, 170 child-woman ratio. And this is in Uganda, in the same year, 892 child-woman ratio. You see that the disparity? Very, very few here in South Korea, 170 and 267. But 892, it's as if, okay, there's that a lot, almost 1,000. RLF, replacement level fertility, it's the level of fertility at which women in the same cohort have exactly enough daughters on average to replace themselves in the population. NRR of 1 is equal to replacement level. So you see, I have two daughters to replace me. So I have an excess of 1. The TFR can also be used to indicate RLF by showing the average number of children sufficient to replace both parents in the population. In developed countries today, a total fertility rate of about 2.1 is considered to be replacement level because, okay, the TFR that is 2 and the RLF that is 2 because two parents will be replaced by two children. So we have 3, we have extra 1 to replace us in case we'll be gone. And that is surely we will all be gone sooner or later. So another concept, population momentum. This is the tendency of a population to continue to grow after the replacement level fertility has been achieved. That is 2, okay, to replace the two parents. A population that has achieved replacement or below replacement level fertility may still continue to grow for some decades. For example, the past high fertility because, okay, the past high fertility. So, okay, today, for example, okay, this time, there is RLFO2 in that country. But before, it was high. Okay, so that past high fertility translates to a high concentration of people in the youngest ages. So, for example, this is in Sweden in 1957 because this was the time when the RLF had been achieved in Sweden. So you see this. This is 2 for the females and 2 for the males. The blue one for the males, the females. So this is 2, and this is the percentage, about 3% uh, of those ages here. So 2, they have reached the fertility replacement level fertility. But then in 2020, presently, okay, from 7 million to 10 million, there is still that increase. In fact, from this in the 50s to this in at present, okay, it keeps on going up. It keeps on going up. It cannot be a plateau, or it's just like in the same level of increase or no increase at all. So it keeps on increasing because there was high fertility previously. So those who are in the youngest ages that have been a lot, they will soon grow, right? So although replacement level fertility was reached in Sweden by the 1960s, there are still about 22,000 more births than deaths each year. So the total births continue to exceed total deaths as these youths become parents. Eventually, this large group becomes elderly and deaths increase to equal the number of births or outnumber them. Thus, it may take 2 or 3 generations, 50 to 70 years, before each new birth is offset by a death in the population. Okay, so birth rate for unmarried woman. This is the number of live births by unmarried women per 1,000 unmarried women ages 15 to 49 years in a given year. So the formula is this number of births to unmarried women over number of unmarried women 15 to 49 years old times 1,000. So equals this substitution of values times 1,000 equals 52.5. So 52.5, or there were 53 births per 1,000 unmarried women ages 15 to 44, this time in the United States in 2008. Percentage of births outside marriage. It's the number of live births to unmarried women, those who never married. So included na this one, counting this also. Those who never married, widowed because it's outside of marriage, no more husband, or divorced, not living with husband anymore, per 100. So this time is per 100 total live births in a given year. So the live births this time, the formula to number of births to unmarried women over total live births times 1,000. So substitution of values is equal to 40.6, or in 2008, to interpret, 41% of births in the United States were outside marriage. In 2009, the percentage of births outside marriage was 55.1 in Norway and 6.6 in Greece, to compare. Okay.